Hello guys, Mano here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're seeing this channel for the first time, I am Manuel. I am based in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Yes, I proclaim the gospel about Brazil, things about Brazil, updates about Brazil, things you should know about Brazil as a foreigner before coming to the country, and even as a Brazilian, you in this country also. So guys, if you're seeing this channel for the first time, kindly subscribe, kindly like, kindly share, subscribe, share to your loved ones, to your lovers, to your haters also. So guys, let's get straight into today's video. So guys, on today's content, we're talking about new immigration policy we have here in Brazil for foreigners for the permanent resident and naturalization. Yes, there are new things changing here in Brazil. So guys, firstly, I'm talking about the new policy for permanent residents. As a foreigner that coming to Brazil, or you want to come to Brazil, and you want to get your permanent residence. And before this, I posted ways which you can get your permanent residence in my previous content. So you can just, so for those that don't see this content for the first time, you can go back to my previous content and just check them. You see the video them. So the new updates now about Brazil permanent residents, if you are getting your permanent resident through dating a Brazilian. Before, in my previous video, I posted ways which you can get your permanent resident through Portuguese language course, that's a paid course, through dating a Brazilian, through marrying a Brazilian, through work, through giving birth to your child here in Brazil. So the little change we have now in Brazil is containing is containing about getting your permanent resident through dating a Brazilian. Before, when if a foreigner comes to Brazil, you can apply for naturalization. So you can apply for permanent residence through a Brazilian lady just by dating. They will call it companion, not marriage. Marriage is different from companion through dating. So and that one through that one will give you 10 years permanent resident, and then after a year you can apply for naturalization for the passport. But now the new policy is that if you don't have a permanent resident before in Brazil, you cannot get your permanent residence through dating a Brazilian. No, it's not possible. Through companion, it's not possible. They will ask you for your PR before they do the registration for you at the Cartorio, because you have to do the registration first at Cartorio. Is that document you not used to with your other documents to take to the federal police to go and do your permanent resident. So now in Brazil, if you are getting your PR through dating a Brazilian, just companion, you must have your permanent residence. So it's people that are here in Brazil that already have that PR that one can work for. So if you don't have your PR yet, you cannot use that route to get your permanent residence. They'll tell you the best route for you is just to marry the person straight. That's through marriage. And if you're getting your documents through marriage, through marrying a Brazilian, it has to be legal. It is done legally at the Cartorio. So with that one, you can use it to get your permanent resident, which will give you 10 years permanent resident. Then after 6 months, you can now start applying for naturalization. Before through dating, you can if that PR, you can do that. That's you call this companion. But now, currently, now, you can't use dating you can't use dating a Brazilian to get your PR. It's only if you have your PR already in this country you can do that. So the other options are either you use the Portuguese language course, and that one is one of the easiest ways. Portuguese language course, or you give birth to a child, or you marry a Brazilian. And if you're getting your PR through Portuguese language course, it's 1 year permanent resident, which after a year you can renew it. Then you'll be renewing it every year. It's 1 year permanent resident. They renew it every year. Then after 4 years, you can now get your naturalization. The other ones is if you marry a Brazilian, which I've said marriage, not companion. Marriage is they give you 10 years permanent resident. It's permanent resident, but the card lasts for 10 years, which after 6 months you can now start applying for naturalization. Then the other ways is if you give birth to your child in Brazil, which will give you the same 10 years, then after a year of you giving it to your child, of you getting your payout to your child, you can apply for naturalization. Or if a Brazilian company want register you under their company and give you work permits, or through study. Those are the other ways. So on the second part of this video is for the naturalization. So there are changes now on naturalization here in Brazil. Before one of the important documents you must have or get before doing your naturalization is the Portuguese language proficiency certificate. You must have it. It's a must. You must have it. Now, before, most people in Brazil might not really do the course, do the exam. There's a way they do it here in Brazil that after you're just tendering your certificates for that naturalization, you are good to go. But now, if you go to the federal police, if you go to the federal police for your naturalization, they ask you questions. They ask a question in Portuguese. They tell you to write some things down in Portuguese. And if you cannot write it, they will not give you the naturalization. No, they tell you to go and learn how to speak the language to an extent, which I feel is very, very important. Yes. You can't just come to our country and just get the passport without you know how to say some things. No, 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 no. At least to an extent, at least 50% of you should know how to say some things. So now in Brazil, for your naturalization process, they're not just collecting your proficiency certificates. That's the Portuguese proficiency certificates. No, when you go to federal police, they will ask you questions. They they tell you to write some things down in Portuguese, and if you can't do that, they are not giving to you. So for those that are already in Brazil and you want to get your naturalization and you can't speak the language, it's better you start learning how to speak it now. The earlier, the better. At least to an extent. Yeah, at least you're in this country now. You're able to know some things to an extent. Like, at least 50%. Do you get? So there's one of my guy that went to the federal police for his naturalization and legs. They started telling him some things. It's right, and he cannot speak Portuguese. So he only did the arrange certificates. When he got there, now I like from this year now, you have to you have to know how to speak the language. You ask the questions there, the language, writing, everything. So, and if you can't do it, it's a no. They tell you to can learn the language, then you have to reapply again for the naturalization. Yes, that's how it works now in Brazil. Yes. So, guys, that's a new policy we have here in Brazil on permanent residence and on naturalization. So, if you're a friend are planning to come to Brazil or you're already in Brazil, so just take note of this new policy we have here in Brazil. So, you won't be a shocker. So, it will meet you like, hey, I didn't know this. So, guys, kindly subscribe, kindly like, kindly share. I love you guys. I love you guys. So, guys, see you in my next video.